Hello, everyone. Long time, everything, basically. So, I'm better. I don't look it because I'm still choosing to lie down on the sofa because it seems to just help with my endometriosis. So that's not better at all. I'm still getting up at like 1 o'clock every morning and having to transfer to the sofa and stuff. But the partiality thing, I'm better from that. And I wanted to share with you just in case there's anyone else who was not in the know. So basically, when you get put on high blood pressure for whatever reason, it's not necessarily permanent. That's something I didn't know. So I was put on high blood pressure for something sort of not medical. Something awful happened in our family, and it was horrendous, and it went on for a long time, and it was terrible. And it's kind of sorted out now. Not in the way that I hoped, but in a way that means that we can move forward with our lives, which is great. Thank you, Lord. So, what I noticed was I started feeling like I was going to pass out every time I bent over. And then it sort of gradually got worse to the point that I couldn't even sit up. Which is why I ended up back in a wheelchair, because it was just like I can't walk anywhere, but we need to be able to go shopping and that kind of thing, just survive, because it's for 2 years. Anyway, very, very long story short, I basically was like, I'm eating well, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, what is wrong? And my blood pressure basically went absolutely through the roof whenever I stood up. Now, the symptoms were like low blood pressure symptoms, but the sort of evidence was high. And there's something that's recently been shown, which is like a kind of version of POTS, which is postural something disorder thing. That one, where instead of your blood pressure going down, it goes up. And it's been foxing doctors for a while, including my doctor, and so now it's like this very, very recent discovery. So anyway, so I got to the point where I was like, I am exercising, I'm doing everything, and I was like, I want to come off the blood pressure tablets. I'm fed up of being on them. I think this might be related, but I just want to come off them. And so I was like, I know that that's not going to go down well with doctors, because they're going to be like, but your blood pressure. But it's just like, yes, well, okay. So basically, before asking about it, I just absolutely worked on my core, because the whole thing of the postural changes seemed to be the issue. And I noticed that also whenever I was pressed in my lumbar area, I had the same partiality feeling. And so I was like, okay, so maybe it's something to do with like the blood pressure thing in my core. So anyway, so I worked on my core. I really properly worked. But of course, I couldn't work in the air. I had to work in the water, because that's the only time that I could not feel like I was going to pass out, was when I was in the water, because I don't know whether it's like the buoyancy or something or whatever it was. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it, but all I know is when I was in water, I was fine. Like, I could do everything in the water. Like, basically, I was like, should we just flood the house so then I could at least function? Obviously, that was a joke, but it got to that point, because it was like, anyway. So I worked my core for about 6 weeks and was like, okay, I'm doing okay. I know, like, my weight had gone up, which you probably noticed in the videos as well. Everything was just bad. Then I was like, I am coming off these. I'd sort of requested it before, and my doctor was just like, no. And so I was just like, okay, I am actually going to come off these. You are very welcome to monitor me as much as you like, but I am coming off these. And I did it very gradually, because if anyone who's been following me for a while will know that I know to come off things gradually. So I did it very, very, very gradually, sort of like micro milli things, whatever they're called, micrograms, I think. And I'm completely off them now. But basically, within a week of coming down like 5 micrograms, I could sit up without feeling like I was going to pass out. And not for very long, for about 15 minutes, but that was huge, because before it was like 2 minutes and then I started feeling ill. So yeah, so then it just like, because that improvement happened, and literally, and this is insane, but within a month I was back at work, I was driving, I was just normal again, and it was amazing. So I wanted to say, don't necessarily think that medication is forever, blood pressure medication is forever, because it might not be. And I've spoken to other people and shared my story with other people, and they've been like, oh my goodness, I'm going to try and come off, because they've been having similar symptoms. So talk to your doctor, but at the end of the day, particularly if you've had ME, you kind of know your body, you know what's weird and what's not. So anyway, and I came off the blood pressure medication, like I said, back to work within a month, and all of a sudden I was able to lose the weight. Before, I was not able to lose the weight. I got to my heaviest, which was 12, 13, which I've never been, ever, ever, ever. And like fluid retention or whatever it was, I don't know what it was, but it was horrible. And I'm down to 12 flat. Yay. Which I didn't change anything that I was doing, just the medication. So anyway, that is my thing to share with you, and lots of love. And if you have any questions, then get in touch. I don't think I'm going to be posting as much because there's other stuff going on now that is just taking up all my time, work mainly. But you know, if you have any questions, I'm still here, but I might not be posting as much. All right, lots of love. Bye bye.